Today we are going to learn simple present negative sentences with have. Also, we are going to focus on housing vocabulary to learn this. Using does not have. Does not have uses for writing. Doesn't have uses for speaking. Short form. Using does not have, doesn't have with housing vocabulary. So when we learn grammar, any grammar lesson, any grammar point, we need to learn two things. One is the form and other one is the use. Form is how to write a sentence correctly. Form is how to write a sentence correctly. In English, sentence structure is first subject, and after that you have to write negative, does not have, this is the verb, then object. So in this simple present, have sentence structure also has a form. The form is how to write this sentence. We need to write a subject, then does not have. It's a verb of this sentence and the object, the rest of the sentence. Let's see how do you do that. As you learned before, so this is the structure or the form of simple present tense have sentence. So subject. This is the subject. You need a subject. Then do not have. This is for the plural verbs. This is a plural verb and object. Then singular subject does not have. This is a verb for singular subject and object. Okay, let's learn again. Subject, do not have. So this is the verb for plural subjects. Then object. Then does not have is for the singular subject plus object. So you can see here on the top plural, down singular. So plural nouns I, we, you, they, Juma and Elfie. Any name, two or more name, you can use as a plural noun. Then here you can see do not have. This is a long form. Doesn't have is a short form. Short form uses to talk in day-to-day conversation. Then a house. I don't have a house. We don't have a house. You don't have a house. They do not have a house. Juma and Elfie do not have a house. So this is how subject, verb, object. Then here singular sentence structure, form of this sentence pattern. So this column is for subject and this column is for the verb. This is the object. So doesn't have. is the short form of this short form of the verb. Does not have is the long form. Usually we use this to write. Doesn't have uses to speak in day-to-day communication, to talk with people. It's a short form. Let's make sentence using this substitution chart. Then it's easy. He doesn't have a house. She does not have a house. It doesn't have a house. My family doesn't have a house. Milana does not have a house. So this is the form of have, simple present negative sentence structure. Let's look at the examples. My coworker doesn't have a house. I use here short form for these sentences. You can see this column is for the subject. This is number 2 column is for the negative verb, and here a article, and this is the object, the house in vocabulary. My coworker doesn't have a house. My friend's apartment doesn't have a living room. My brother doesn't have a big bedroom. My sister doesn't have a basement. My uncle doesn't have a garage. My grandmother doesn't have a big bathroom. My aunt's house. So here it's different. This is a possessive. That means it belongs to aunts. This is not my house. This is aunt's house. The owner is the aunt. My aunt's house doesn't have a baby's room. My classmate's house. Again, here is also possessive. Belongs to my classmate. The owner of the house is my classmate, not me. My classmate's house doesn't have a children's room. Here, this is the form of does not have. It's the same, but it's with not short form. This is a long form when you write sentences. My daughter does not have a driveway. He does not have a swimming pool. It does not have a window. It does not have a door. My boyfriend's house. Again, these two nouns are possessive. That means it belongs to, this one is belongs to boyfriend. This apartment belongs to my brother. My boyfriend's house does not have a chimney. My brother's apartment does not have a staircase. She does not have a front yard. It does not have a roof. Carefully study the form of this simple present tense have negative sentence structure. So here again I used doesn't have, also does not have. My nephew doesn't have a dining room. My niece does not have a laundry room. My granddaughter doesn't have a detached house. My son-in-law does not have a detached garage. My daughter-in-law doesn't have a beautiful lawn. My mother-in-law does not have a beautiful garden. So, using the substitution charts before, now let's write the sentences. These are the sentences we wrote using the above substitution charts. My coworker doesn't have a house. 2. My friend's apartment doesn't have a living room. 3. My brother doesn't have a house. 4. My sister doesn't have a basement. 5. My uncle doesn't have a garage. 6. My grandmother doesn't have a big bathroom. 7. My aunt's house doesn't have a baby's room. 8. My classmate's house doesn't have a children's room. 9. My daughter does not have a driveway. 10. He does not have a swimming pool. 11. It doesn't or it does not have a window. 12. It does not have a door. 13. My boyfriend's house does not have a chimney. Remember, possessive noun. So that means whose house is this? Boyfriend's house, not my house. My boyfriend's house does not have a chimney. My brother's apartment does not have a staircase. 15. She does not have a front yard. 16. It does not have a roof. 17. My nephew doesn't have a dining room. 18. My niece doesn't have a laundry room. 19. My granddaughter doesn't have a detached house. 20. My son-in-law doesn't have a detached garage. 21. My daughter-in-law doesn't have a beautiful lawn. 22. My mother-in-law doesn't have a beautiful garden. So you learned today form of negative sentence structure of simple present tense have sentence structure. Please watch again and practice well. Good job, everyone.